Okay, more pen tool information. Okay, so I have a Photoshop document with a shape, and I'm going to show you a couple more things that you can do with the pen tool, how to control it basically. So I'm going to just mess around with this for now. I'm just going to make a new layer. You can see that I don't have any paths in the path palette, so if I just take the pen tool and start clicking around, I'm making a path, and in here we have a work path. So I'm going to complete that path by clicking on that first anchor point. Let's change my screen mode so I can zoom in a little bit easier. Now I'm going to, again, double click on this work path to save it, or turn it into a regular path that will save. Okay, so now I have this path here. And if I want to edit the path, I want to use one of these tools here. This tool, the path selection tool, basically selects the entire path and just moves it around. Doesn't matter which part I grab. I can grab one point. The whole thing is selected. So it's a great way to move the path around. But if you want to edit individual points, you need to use this tool, the direct selection tool. And this one, if I click anywhere, it deactivates the path. And if I click anywhere else in the path, that part of the path becomes selected. So right now this whole line of the path is selected, so I could move that around. If I just drag across to activate it so I could see where these anchor points are, I can grab an individual point and move that around. I could select 2 points and then move both of them around. I can also, again, I'm just going to click somewhere on the path so that I can see the anchor points. And then if I click on one of them, like this one, you can see that it has, this anchor point has these 2 lines with 2 little dots on the ends. Those are what I like to call little handlebars. If you grab them and pull them, you can change the shape of your path. Okay, so these are easily confused with lines of the path and anchor points, but they're not. They look similar, but they're what you use to change the shape or direction of your actual path, the line of your path. So these ones don't have anchor points, and that's because when I made this path, I just clicked on once. If you want to see anchor points, or if you want to curve, you actually need to click and drag. So let me show you what that looks like. Go back to the pen tool, and I'm going to come out here and click and drag. Those are handlebars right there. Those aren't part of the path segment. That first middle dot is the anchor point. If I let that go and then click here, you'll see that the path goes from here to where I click, like so. And there's a curve to it. But again, if I click here, these are anchor points without curved handlebars. But if I click and drag, those handlebars appear. And now if I click and drag again, you can see the new handlebars. Now these lines here are the path. These are the anchor points with handlebars. Okay, so if you don't see one of them, just click on the anchor point and it will probably reveal both. Okay, so that's basically how you move a path around and edit it. It's all about these handlebars, anchor points and the handlebars. So it's how far you pull it out and how much you move it around will determine the nature of the curve. Okay, so let me delete these 2 paths and make a new path. I'm going to follow this shape right here. So I'm just going to start by clicking here and dragging. Again, you're better off using fewer anchor points. If you have too many anchor points, there are more chances for error. And then I pull this path in or out to follow that shape. Okay, now this segment is basically controlled by this anchor point and this anchor point. And you can see that when I move this anchor point, this line of this other part of the path is also moving. So they're all connected, but that's great. That's what allows us to have these really nice smooth transitions in our curves. Okay, if they're all separate, there would be you know, be a lot of jitter in the curve, basically. Be all bumpy. Okay, so grab that anchor point, get the shape back in order. So it's a little bit of separation there. I'm going to lighten up this layer down here so you can see this easier. So you can see our path, more contrast on this background. Okay, so again, just gonna pull these out. I'm gonna bring this one closer. And now I need to change directions here. And the way to do that is you can stay in this direct selection tool and just hold down Option. So I'm gonna activate this anchor point. I'm gonna hold down Option. You can see the little plus sign appears when I click over that handlebar. That lets me know that I can grab that handlebar and then change directions. You're sort of breaking that curve. Okay, and now these two anchor points will move independently from now on. I'm not holding the Option tab, the Option button anymore on my keyboard, and they move separately. Okay, so if I want them to move together again, I need to hold Option again, and they will temporarily move together. But as soon as I let go, they're independent again. I'm going to grab this one, straighten this side out. And I'm going to come down to this one, activate both of these, hold down Option, hover over this handlebar, and grab it and pull it down like this to, break its connection with this one. And then continue editing this path shape. Okay, it's not bad. It's not perfect. Hopefully you'll do a better job than I do. I can see some spacing in between this stuff. It's going to have some overlap right there. If I wanted to, I'd just take more time. Maybe with the placement of the points. Sometimes you can get away with a really minimal amount of anchor points. Sometimes if it's not working, you maybe have to add another one. And it's really easy to add another anchor point. Again, all I have to do is go back to my pen tool, hover over a part of the segment, the line segment of the path, and it automatically will allow me to add an anchor point. Okay, and if I need to delete one, again, I just hover over the actual anchor point and it will delete it. I don't want to do that in this case. So I'm pretty much done with this path. Again, it's not perfect. If I was giving this to an employer, I'd probably spend more time on it, or a teacher for a grade, I'd probably spend more time on it. I'm going to save my path again by double-clicking this work path. I'm going to turn off that shape and now fill it with a new color. So I'm going to change colors. I'm on a new layer, and I'm just going to click this button right here, and it fills that path. I want to stroke that path, so I'm going to choose a brush first to make sure I get the right brush, the brush that I want to use. This time I'm going to use the star brush, okay? And I'm going to go to a new layer. Right now, this is just a brush selected, and I'm on a new layer, so I could just test it by painting. So just like that, just to see the size of the brush and how it would react before I stroke it. So I think it's a little bit too, the brush is a little bit too big, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Maybe even a little bit smaller. I like that. I'm going to change the color. Zoom out so we can see this effect. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger actually. I'm just previewing the brush. Okay, I like that size, so I'm going to click this button right here to stroke the path. And I actually accidentally clicked it twice, which is okay. I can keep doing it. The more I click it, the more it'll fill it in. I just want to do it once. And I'm pretty much done with that.